I'm getting ready to set up my still life here, and I found a nice corner with good light. This is kind of a one-sided light. It's creating a dramatic shadow off to one side, which adds a little bit of interest to our work. So wherever you choose, you're going to try to create at least some sort of shadow effect. You could take a light that's already existing on the wall. You could take a little desk lamp, something to create that effect so that you have what we call dramatic lighting. All right, I picked a couple objects here. I really love reading, and I particularly love poetry, so I picked my favorite book of poetry. I didn't want just one book, so I picked another book. It happens to be a book of poetry. I can change the name on it once I'm doing my drawing, and that's up to me. I laid down a napkin here just to give my background a little bit of energy. And then I'm gonna set these up so they're kind of interesting. So they're not just stacked on each other. I want them to have a little bit of angles. More angles is more dynamic, more interesting for the viewer. Here we go, coffee mug. I love coffee, I also love tea. I opted to represent tea because I wanted that little visual element of the tea tag dangling down. So whatever I do, I'm gonna make sure that that is visible. I kind of like the angle of the handle going off that way, and then my tea tag is just dangling down. All right, so right now I have my cubes. Notice it's not a perfect cube, but it's cubic. It's more of a rectangular cube. This is gonna count as my cylinder. No, it is not a perfect cylinder. It has a handle. It's open at the top, but it's generally cylindrical, so that will work. Finally, a sphere. Now I know it's a cliche, but I am a teacher, so I'm including an apple. Once again, it's not a perfect sphere, but it is generally spherical, so it will work. I could put it here, I could put it down here. I'm gonna kind of play around with it until I like the placement. And I can change my mind as long as I haven't started drawing yet. Let's get these back. And then finally, I love to draw. So I could have done a paintbrush if I wanted for painting, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw in a pencil because it's a little bit of a distinct shape. And I think you would have a pencil by books more than you would have a paintbrush. And I'm just gonna kind of play around with what makes sense. I could have it, oops, don't throw things. I could have it coming out from behind the cup. All right, I actually like that. I think that there's some nice overlap. There aren't any weird points where things intersect in kind of an uncomfortable way. I might push that back a little bit so it's not touching the edge. Okay, cool. My still life is set up. I've got good light and my objects are represented. I've got cubes, cylinders, and a sphere. I think I'm ready to go.